Hi, good morning. In this video, I am going to talk a little bit about how to eat for each dosha, so eating for your Ayurvedic type. And I'm going to show you the document that I have put together. So I want that to be your main reference for this. And you need to read the section for your dosha. Read it carefully. I put a lot of thought into it and how to make it simple and manageable and practical for daily life. And you don't have to do everything, but choose one or two things for your dosha. Okay. So now I am going to screen share and open up that diet. It's called the Ayurvedic Guidelines, Diet and Lifestyle Guidelines, and it is in the bonus Ayurveda module. So walking a balanced, healthy path and finding an Ayurvedic approach can really help with that. So this is the table of contents. I'm going to skip ahead to the balancing diet for Vata. So we're going to talk about a balancing diet for each dosha. Now notice I'm not talking a ton about exactly what to eat. I'm talking about big principles. So for diet Vata, regularity, okay, first, grounding, nourishing, well oiled, so that means a lot of oils and fats. Regularity of meals is really more important than what's eating. So a regular diet, a regular lifestyle, eating at the same time every day, waking up. We talked about this already, but the dinacharya, the lifestyle is very important. Some things to avoid, particularly dry foods like crackers, nuts, popcorn, those like hard, salty things. Avoiding cold, so the very cold foods. Don't eat stuff right out of the fridge, heat it up. That's not good for Vata. Don't drink a giant glass of ice water with your meals. That's not good. Drink something warm. Even drink warm water or ginger tea. Emphasize cooking vegetables over raw. And as I said earlier, drinking warm water or herbal teas such as ginger frequently, right? So very important. Keys to diet for Vata. So for Pitta, and I've talked about some of these keys. Go back and read this, please. But I really just want to focus on diet in this video. Choosing a cooling, slightly heavy diet is good for Pitta, but not too many oils. Because remember, Pitta is made up of fire and oil. So the diet needs to be not too oily. And when oil, you might say, what? I thought it was water. But I like to think of liquid. And with Pitta, it's more of an oily liquid. I didn't say it, but Vata is made up of air and ether. So the diet needs to be heavier, grounding, warming. So for Vata's foods, they're going to be like grounding, sweet potatoes, cooked vegetables, root vegetables, some meat and protein. For Pitta, it's going to be a focus on greens. Pitta can handle more raw greens and salads. Grains and beans are really good. So like there's a bean recipe I talk about in the recipes video. Minimizing meats, fried foods. Pitta should not eat a lot of fermented foods, acidic foods. So not too much of like kimchi, sauerkraut, all that stuff. A little bit of maybe sauerkraut or yogurt because it's dairy would be fine for Pitta. And alcohol, of course, is a fermented food, is an acid. So Pitta needs to avoid these acidic foods. Choosing steamed, sauteed, or baked foods, avoiding fried or oily, right? And then choosing milder spices like cumin, cilantro, basil, thyme, and avoiding the very hot chili, garlic, raw onion is also aggravating, right? So in the appendix, we have more specifics for each dosha, which I'll show you quickly. And then we're going to jump ahead to Kapha. So Kapha should focus on a diet that's kind of light, dry, and warming. For Kapha, it's really important to not overeat, to eat the right quantity of food. So noticing your hunger, if you're Kapha, you might want to skip breakfast. Yep, I said it, skip breakfast. Or have a snack around 10 a.m. But for Kapha, the morning time, you can feel heavier, maybe more congested. So you don't necessarily want to eat a big breakfast at that time. So you could say bring some fruit with you, drink some ginger tea. And then for lunch, having a better lunch. So, eating lightly in the evenings, have a good lunch, make sure you're having half your plate vegetables, and eating the lighter, more vegetarian foods. Lots of vegetables, raw or cooked, is good for kapha. A bit of spice, and avoid the snacking. So for kapha, it's more about containing your eating to your meals, light breakfast, bigger lunch, moderate dinner, and cutting out junk, watching the tendency to snack on carbohydrates and that kind of thing. Yeah. Now let's look at the appendix quickly. So these are some Vata guidelines, which are the different foods that are going to be particular good. Do not obsess over this. If something says it's bad for you, doesn't mean like it's going to throw you in a tizzy if you eat it. It just means overall, these are the things in Ayurveda that tend to be good for this dosha. So for Vata, simple meals, warm drinks, spices are good, oils are good, animal products, dairy, nuts and seeds. Beans, we want to be careful with. A lot of Vatas have difficulty digesting cooked vegetables, some easy to digest fruits, okay? Um, Pitta, you'll see. So cooling fruits are good. Different vegetables from Vata, for the most part. The worst are the spicy things. Grains, most grains are okay. We want to avoid quick white rice for everybody. Most beans are good for Pitta. Nuts and seeds, maybe avoiding the real heavy oily ones. Dairy is good. Animal products, minimal, right? We said oils, some ghees, but not a ton. And then just the less spicy spices like coriander, drinks, water is good. We want to watch the alcohol, especially. Kapha, little bit of fruit, but lighter fruits, a lot of vegetables, some grains, but limited. Beans are really good, and some nuts and seeds, not too much. Not that much dairy. When you have it warmed. Minimal oils, minimal sweeteners, more spices, and these are some good herbal teas and stuff. So and some more dietary tips, avoiding sugar, warm drinks, more bitter, pungent tastes. So use this document, but don't get lost in the weeds, as I said before. So make sure you keep the big picture in mind of your overall dietary pattern. Start by sticking to something if you want to see changes, right? Okay, and I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you later. And